Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into a core piece of the Skill Wanderer learning material, something I think we can all relate to. The endless mystery of software bugs.
It's a big one. And the sources really hammer home one fundamental truth we have to start with.
Which is,
Bugs are normal. They're inevitable. The rule is simple. If software has users, it has bugs, period. The goal of testing isn't to assign blame. It's about understanding the root causes to, well, lower the risk.
okay, so let's start with the most foundational cause, the one everyone thinks of first. Us, the human element.
Right. Software is built by people, and people are, fallible. We get rushed, we get stressed, we make assumptions.
And we miss those edge cases, right? The weird scenarios you'd never think of. And it's not just junior developers. I mean, even the most senior skilled engineers still make mistakes.
Absolutely. Skill just changes the frequency of the bugs, not whether they exist.
Yeah.
But here's the key insight from the Skill Wanderer sources, the thing that's maybe less obvious.
Oh.
The single biggest source of defects often happens before anyone even writes a line of code. It's unclear or changing requirements.
So it's a process problem, not a coding problem.
Exactly. The requirements might be incomplete, missing key details. Or they're ambiguous, so the developer and tester interpret them in completely different ways.
Or they just change halfway through the project.
That's the volatile part, yeah. Or there's just a misalignment between what the business thinks they asked for and what actually got written down.
That example in the material about ambiguity was perfect. The requirement is just. The system should send a notification.
Seems simple, right? But it's a minefield.
The developer sees that and maybe builds a little in-app message.
Yeah.
But the tester has to ask all the hard questions.
Right. When does it send? To whom? Is it an email, a text, a push notification? What happens if it fails to send?
And every single one of those unanswered questions is a potential bug just waiting to happen.
So once you get past that communication breakdown, you run into the next wall. Just sheer complexity.
Modern software is. It's a beast. It's not one thing.
Not at all. It's countless integrations, interconnected features, all these different user behaviors. The complexity grows so much faster than our ability to, hold it all in our heads.
Which gets to that concept of the happy path. The developer is kind of wired to build for the perfect user who does everything right.
It's not that they don't know better. It's often the pressure. You have to assume the ideal case to make progress. You assume inputs will be clean, that users are logical.
But reality is messy. People enter their name in the phone number field or just leave things blank.
Exactly. And that's the tester's mindset in a nutshell. Always asking, okay, but what happens if that assumption is just dead wrong?
And that pressure you mentioned, and we can't ignore the business side of this, the deadlines.
Oh, the deadlines are huge. This is where you get known bugs being accepted as a calculated risk.
We'll fix it later, just ship it now.
We've all heard that. And that is the definition of technical debt. You're basically taking out a loan against your future stability. And that debt piles up, making every future change harder and more expensive.
Then you have the final piece of the puzzle, the external world, the environments.
Right. A feature works perfectly on your high-end developer machine.
But then it completely crashes on a 5-year-old phone using a spotty 3G connection.
Exactly. And then you have the integrations, connecting to payment gateways, to third-party APIs. The sources make it clear. A lot of the most critical bugs happen in that messy zone between systems, not deep inside one of them.
So when you put this all together, it really paints a clear picture of why testers are so essential. They're the necessary counterbalance.
They really are. Their job is to challenge all those assumptions, to ask the uncomfortable what-if questions. They aren't there to distrust the developer. They're there to protect the user.
To be the advocate for reality.
That's a great way to put it. So if we boil this whole deep dive down, the takeaways are pretty clear. First, bugs are inevitable. They are not a sign of failure.
Right. And second, most of them come from process and communication issues, not just bad code.
And third, good testing is simply how you manage that unavoidable business risk.
Okay, so to leave you with a final thought from all this Skill Wanderer material, if we know time pressure is a major cause of defects, where is that trade-off point? When is a known bug actually worth the calculated risk of shipping to meet a deadline? And what does accepting that bug today do to the health of your system, say, 2 years from now? Something to chew on.